Hello, hello, hello. Happy Ash Wednesday if you are a church going person, and happy regular old Wednesday if you're not. So, around here, we are getting over the Mardi Gras Carnival season and moving into Lent. Um, I am actually going to attempt to participate in Lent this season with regards to making a dietary change. So I'm going to hold myself accountable for no fried foods and hope that sticks and isn't just a temporary item. Now, granted, I don't expect I'll be perfect, um, but I am going to do my best to take that out of my diet because there are many other things that I'd like to enjoy. So that's one of my changes. So there you have it. That's what the Lent season is for me, um, versus the fasting and praying. I do pray. I am a very private person. I'm not a very religious person at this point in my life. So my participation in Lent this year is by making a healthy change. Again, I am attempting to not partake in fried foods. So um, really it means no drive-throughs. So the swap I'm trying to make is, hey, grab something from the grocery store that's healthier than a fried food. So anyway, that's my swap, my holding back, etc., etc. It just so happens to align with our Lenten season. And I did grow up Catholic, so I understand the premise behind it. And I love to support those who are doing it. So if there's something you're giving up for Lent and you would like a little extra support, send me a message and I'll plug it into my calendar to send you some positive messages to keep you going. Um, I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera down, and I'm going to touch base on what I didn't get to finish last week. So, Kaylee and her friend were in a little fender bender, and she kept calling me, which is why the video cut out. And I, had to quickly get off, and I only did half of what I was going to do. The cool thing is that Sarah with Stampin' Up actually got on and did an entire presentation using these decorative masks. And she actually shared how to use the floral ones, which I hadn't even gotten to yet because I was just working on that big one. So I posted that on my Facebook page yesterday. So if you would like to check that out, she made some really cute cards. So you might want to go check that out. It's on my Facebook page, and you can probably also find it from the Stampin' Up page. So let me switch my camera and finish up sharing last week. So this was the decorative stamp mask that I shared. And I'm just going to show you really quickly the floral ones. So you have like a base flower, and then you have some detail that you can fill in. And then you have your base leaves, and then some detail that you can use a darker color on. And this was all done using our blending brushes. I shared how to blend, which was fabulous that part came out. I believe I shared this card. This is what started it for me. I just wanted to do a little bit of a rainbow because I love rainbows. So this was a way for me to get a little bit of practice with it. And this was the blending that I shared, and I said I would turn it into a project and share it later. So here is that card. I made a mountain of thanks, and I used some of these to make it look like they were really up close. And of course, the sunset you saw me build in the background. And I just added some twine and a sentiment, and that is That's it. That was so simple, right? So back to the masking that I did not get to live was to do the masking on a designer series paper. And as you can see, I chose these polka dots, nice and subtle, um, nothing spectacular. I chose a So Saffron, the light yellow on top. So I had a little bit of a different color here. This is from our Butterfly Kisses paper. I literally just snipped around that and then I added my sentiment down here. So again, super simple. And this was a great segue into tonight's class or set of products that I'm going to share. So this butterfly is the DSP that we're using tonight, the Butterfly Kisses DSP. And before I move into that, let me share a couple of images that you can screenshot. You can save this for later. So we have 1 week left of celebration. Things have sold out, new things have been added. So if you haven't spent any money yet, now is your chance. You have 1 week. So through the end of February 28th, whatever is available is up for grabs. So with a $50 purchase, you are eligible for free items through Stampin' Up. So let me put my host code. This host code is good for this entire month. So through the end of February 28th, you can use this host code. When you order $50 or more, you'll get a free item from Stampin' Up, and you'll also get a Stampin' Up thank you gift from myself as well. I like to send out a little extra card. When you spend $50 or more, I like to throw a little freebie in there, just some little extras. So I'm going to take that off. Hopefully you screenshotted that. And then since I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping here, let's go ahead and share. If you're local, I am doing a pop-up wreath event. Of course, the wreath is hanging in Bien Bon, the smoothie and loaded tea restaurant, as it may be. And we are going to be doing the wreath at that location Saturday, March 4th from 2 to 4 p.m. I know there's a lot of softball going on, but I still have to craft to keep my sanity. So I'm going to watch softball in the morning and then I'm going to craft in the afternoon. If you would like to craft with us, you can screenshot this. You can use that QR code to sign up. It's $15. If you want to order a tea or a smoothie beforehand, you do need to come a little bit early. We are closing the shop and we're going to craft. So that is that event right there. And one last thing is my March class. March is all about the beach and the sea turtles and the ocean and dreaming of the waves because I can't be there right now. And I don't know, maybe I'll get to the beach this summer. It is definitely a goal of mine since I have missed the beach for a couple of years now. It's been a year and a half, I guess. It was last Christmas I got to go to the beach. And that was the last time I went to the beach. So I'm jonesing for the beach. I decided to do beach cards for my March class. So come and join. You can do this live in person, or you can do this to go. The way my to go classes work are I record tutorials for each card separately. So you'll get a link to 4 different videos. And I also do a PDF tutorial. So when your package comes in, it will have all the materials to make 2 of each card. If there's a 3D item, you might get materials to do 1 of those. Either way, you're getting everything to recreate it in your own home. When you join me, we might do a little bit of the die cutting together. If you order a to-go and you don't have the die cut machine, it is done for you. That is the beauty of the to-go classes. You do not have to do the work. I take care of it for you. Hey, Melissa. Thanks for joining me. And congratulations on signing a new team member to come and continue to craft with you. It's always more fun when we have people to join us. So tonight you're joining me via Facebook or YouTube, and hopefully I will get to craft in person with you soon, because that has like never happened except over Zoom. So soon we're gonna plan a date. All right. Whew, sorry, I had to get through all of that other stuff, right? The calendar of events. So let's see. I'm going to come back and share tonight's cards. Now, I did good luck. I wanted to use our Lucky Clover stamp set because some people might do St. Patrick's Day cards, not sure. I'm not a big St. Patrick's Day card giver, but my mother-in-law's birthday is on St. Patrick's Day, so I decided to finally break down and buy like 4-leaf clover stuff. So I'm just gonna like keep this kit and combine these 4-leaf clovers with happy birthday stuff forever. So so I decided to use this good luck piece tonight because I do know a lot of kiddos who are getting ready to take the ACT, the SATs. Some people are trying out for different sports or events. So I decided it might be a wise plan to have some good luck cards in my stash. So that's what tonight is all about. Oh, you're so funny. My wife is on tonight. She's so cute. If you catch her comments, if you know us well, you know she's the funny one and I'm the down to business one. So at least she keeps me smiling, right? All right. So let's move on. Let's get into it. All right. So again, we're going to use Lucky Clover. I am going to share the picture very quickly of what the process is tonight. So if you want to screenshot this, this is just a quick little tutorial for what we're going to do this evening. All right, we'll come back here. All right, so here are 4 cards that I created all basically at one time. Nice, super simple. I decided to pull my card bases from the colors in the Butterfly Kisses paper. One of the cool things, I know you hear me talk about it all the time, is how I love that everything is already coordinated. And one of they write down some of the main colors that are in these. Sometimes it's all of them. Sometimes there's a couple missing and you can pick them out yourself. So Calypso Coral, Crushed Curry, Fresh Freesia, Parakeet Party, and Starry Sky are the colors that are in this pack of designer series paper. Let's see. And of course, they are all double-sided. So they have fronts and backs that are different. I think I just pulled that one out. So these are some of the different pieces that we're going to use today. How fun is that? It almost looks like little hearts. I know they're possibly leaves, but they could be wings too. Anyway, so double-sided 6x6 set of designer series paper. And I created 4 cards in, I don't know, not a very long period of time. And of course, you know, I have some things pre-cut and ready to go so that we're not online all night long. Tomorrow night, however, the class is a little bit different. If you are joining me live for the birthday card class, we will be online for a little bit longer. I'm anticipating an hour and a half to 2 hours. It is an online class. If you decide you want to purchase the materials or you want to purchase as a customer, you can get the materials for free depending on your purchase. So that will all be explained again tomorrow night. I will be going live at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. a little bit earlier than my Wednesday night lives. And I did that to accommodate for the fact that I'm going to show you 4 different cards and in that time frame. So tonight is super simple, super quick, 4 in 1. And we're just going to get started. Put those aside. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is I've already pre-cut my card bases. Again, I pulled those colors out from the colors in our designer series paper. And those card bases are ready to go. I've already scored them. I'm just going to burnish them. And I have my insides that I'm going to just put aside because we're going to stamp on the inside pieces today. Now, 3 out of 4 of these, you would not necessarily need to put a white piece on the inside for, but I just tend to enjoy having that nice, super crisp and clean white surface to write on. I literally just cut an entire pack of basic white paper. When it comes in, I just cut up an entire pack into these 4 by 5 1/4 pieces. And I use these for fronts. I use them for backs. I use them for layers. I'm going to use them to cut some things out of today. So it's really a multi-purpose size and color. So I'll just do a whole pack when it comes in. All right. So I have my 4 for the front. Those are going to be very, very necessary. So you can see in our model card here on the inside, I just added a little clover down here. And then we have the layer that we're going to adhere those card pieces. So let me share the 4 pieces that I pulled out for this. So we're going to use this and these butterflies and this one and this one. And just because I'm just alternating them like this. If I wanted to, I could flip any of these over. But I think I really like the ones that I have pulled out. That's a fun one. All right, so I'm cutting all 4 sheets at one time in my paper trimmer. And I'm going to start with my 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm just making sure that I'm holding them all together. And I'm just going to pull these aside. We're not going to use those, so you get even extra scraps there. And then I've got to turn it. And 5 inches. And I'm just going up and back just to make sure, but it seems to be cutting on the first pass. Typically, I wouldn't do more than 2, but 4 designer series sheets seem to be okay. They're not too thick. Now, this is basically that inside layer. You don't have to cut it, but it's fun to shuffle it. As a quilter, we used to make these quilts, these quick crazy quilts, or these stack and whack quilts where you would layer your fabric and then you'd have all these different cuts that you would make and you shuffle the pieces. So this is what it reminded me of when I was creating this today, and it helped me just to move the pieces and parts around. So my very first cut, I'm going to do 2 inches. You could change these measurements however you'd like. It's really a personal preference. I just want to make sure I have all my layers flush with one another as much as possible. So my first cut is 2 inches. Okay, so now I have a 2 by 5 piece and a 1 3/4 by 5. And that is what those measurements are. And if you screenshot those earlier. So cut 1, done. Cut 2, we're going to cut that 1 3/4 piece by 5 inches. We're going to turn it and we're going to cut it at 3 inches. Now, I did find that it was helpful just to kind of lay it back out in the same direction so that later you can turn things around. It was just helpful because I had some butterflies that I wanted to make sure were in the right direction. Again, you'll be able to turn these. It's really not that big of a deal, but I thought I would share. So this last one I am turning and I'm going to do a 2-inch cut again. So my top left will be a 2-inch square. Okay. And I've seen these where they do just a simple cut in each direction. I really wanted my my seams to be in different places. I just like how that looks. So that was my personal preference. Again, no card police. Feel free to adjust things as you see fit. We are finished with our trimmer for the moment. Excuse me. So now we are going to adhere. We're going to shuffle first, and then we're going to adhere to our layer here. Okay, move that aside. So I left my top left with no shuffles. So I'm going to put 1 to the back. And as you can see, these butterflies are upside down. I'm just going to turn them in the right direction for what I'm looking for. I had those layers in there upside down. Not a big deal. So shuffled 1 right here. So the next one around, I'm going to shuffle 2. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and then I'm just going to turn this piece here so that it's right side up. And that means this one is going to get shuffled 3 times and then I'm done. So 1, 2, 3, and we're done. All right. So now we are going to do, this is the most boring part of the whole thing, but we're going to make 4 layers and put them on this background right here. Now I say boring, but this is why you really want to have friends to craft with you, because it's so, it makes the time go by, you have fun, and you make beautiful things. So I'm just going in a circle and putting all of my pieces on. I am leaving a slight border around each piece. It is not a very big border. So I'm going to do this for all 4. So 1 down, just like that for all of them. And of course you have 1 of each designer series paper patterns in a different shape on the front of your cards. And I, of course, chose to do different color for my card bases so that each card was just an additional layer of difference. Notice I'm not doing any major measuring. There's nothing fancy happening here. Just leaving a little bit of space between each one, lining it up as best I can. Now, I used the Clover for my cards. You could cut out the butterflies. Um, you know, depending on what designer series paper you use, you can use a whole array of different pieces and parts for your card that coordinate with that. So, and you'll see one of the pieces we're using tonight is a generic piece that I have used over and over and over. Because every time I pull out a card, I go, oh, I apparently like the lasting label punch, and I really like the decorative circle punch. So I apologize if you like a little more spiciness than that in your life. I didn't realize I was using the same ones over and over for quite so much. All right, so we have 3 out of 4 of the card fronts finished. We're on the last one. And if you were curious, the Butterfly Kisses paper is in the regular catalog. And the Lucky Clover is in our mini. Both catalogs are still available through the end of April. Yeah, through April. I wanted to make sure I didn't tell you the wrong thing. Our clearance rack was refreshed today, and for the first time, apparently, they have put some stamp sets on there. So if you were interested in some clearance stamp sets, you could go shop the clearance rack. And guess what? Those clearance items count towards celebration items as well. So you do not have to, it's not full price merchandise only that counts. It's everything that you're buying, but it is before shipping and tax. So here we have our 4 fronts. And we're going to go ahead and plop those on to our card bases, and then we'll do our stamping. I do not have any special rhyme or reason for which card is going on which front. They all have all of these colors in my layers, so really doesn't it doesn't matter to me. And I am just using regular old Stampin' Seal this evening to put these on. I am worried about the direction because 2 of the pieces have a vertical positioning. So I just want to make sure that those are upright. And other than that, I'm not worried about how they go on, other than kind of centered as best I can. One of my favorite colors. I'm worried they're going to take this one away. It's called Crushed Curry, and it's such a rich yellowy color. It's actually the color of the car that I have wanted for a very long time. That I had hoped my dad would actually have purchased, but he didn't. You know, sometimes we just have dreams, right? So I really want like a 69 Corvette in this color. And Lynn makes fun of me because she says, you want a school bus yellow Corvette? And I'm like, yeah, kind of, I guess, if it's school bus yellow. So that's what I want. All right, so those are the fronts. I've moved them aside. We're going to do some stamping. So we have to stamp our clovers. And even though the Clover punch is out of stock, you can fussy cut the clovers. It's really not that big of a deal. It doesn't take too long because it's not a very intricate stamp. So I'm going to go ahead. This is that Parakeet Party Green that is in our designer series paper. And I'm just going to do 4 of these clovers. I am turning it each time. I'm hoping that will help when I cut it out. I did them all in the same direction last time, and I think this was going to make it a little bit easier to cut out. So, and that's the only thing we're doing in this color. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take these and punch them out. Oh yes, definitely helped a lot. So I can move that around. So 1. So it looks like we're going to be online a little bit longer today, but in the end, we will have 4 complete cards. Now, again, you do not have to make good luck. If you like St. Patrick's Day and you want to give somebody a St. Patrick's Day card with some Guinness beer, you go right ahead and put Happy St. Patrick's Day. If you want to say happy birthday, then you slap a happy birthday on here. Happy belated Valentine's Day. Again, whatever your heart desires. So I'm moving that out of the way. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is actually, we're going to do our good luck label because that's what I'm making mine for. And I just found it was easy to go ahead and punch these out. And then I stamped on them. Again, this is that paper that I've pre-cut. It works really well when I'm having to punch some things out. Close this up. All right. So now I did 2 things to this background. You can see my little clovers under there. So we're going to use soft seafoam. It is the palest green that we have. And so I'm putting this as just some little background clovers in here. You could use whatever colors you want. And I just wanted a little extra something to go back here. Some of these are going to be covered when I add the clover on there. So it's not, doesn't have to be perfect. You just want just a little bit of interest added. Okay. Now I'm using that same color. Let's move those aside for now. And I'm going to stamp this little clover. And I just did the bottom corner here. And we're going to put those inside in just a moment. You could add this to the back of your envelope or the bottom left of your envelope. There's lots of ways to just add little subtle embellishments that aren't too fancy. All right, so now we need to come in and add our good luck, and I did that in the Starry Sky. It's a nice bold color. It's going to show up well and contrast well with the green. So, and I am stamping it on the right hand side because that clover is going to be on the left. can see how beautiful that really stands out. I mean, you can't get any prettier than that for a stamp. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up these clovers on this left-hand side. Now, I do have to I put two, but I want them close together because of the cutout in the clover. Again, it's not all going to be identical. All right. So just pick those off. Now you can add in some twine or ribbon. We could have added some ribbon before we put the top onto the card base. There are lots of different ways you can change these, make them your own, make them a little different, unless you're going to give them all to the same group of people. Sometimes having them all identical is good. Sometimes having them all different is good. Just a personal preference, as usual. All right, so here's the front. We have our insides and we have our card bases ready. So I'm going to go ahead and just adhere these card bases to the inside. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. Sometimes my fingers don't work. All right, last inside. Okay, so now all we have to do is put our good luck on with some dimensionals and add some embellishments. And we just so happen to have some of these same colors because some of these are in colors. Actually, 3 out of 4 are in colors. So Starry Sky, Parakeet Party, and oh, Fresh Freesia is the purple. So 3 out of 4 of the ones that we have used here today are in our 20 to 22 in color collection. I'm excited to see what next year's colors are. I know the boho blue is a sneak peek, and I know we have some things that are supposed to be coming back, but I'm not sure how they're coming back. Are they coming back in just the color refresh? Are we going to get a whole new color palette? I'm just not sure. So I'm excited and I'm nervous because I'm afraid to lose some of my favorite colors. But I'm always excited to see what the trends are. And it's crazy to me that trends happen in advance. So it's interesting. Interesting to see. And who comes up with what's going to trend and who designs these? So you could put these anywhere you want on here. Did some in the center. I did some towards the bottom. I did one kind of cattywampus. Is that a real word? A little tilted to one side. So it really doesn't matter. It's all how your eye views things and what your tastes are. So I did them all a little different just so we can just have a little fun with it. All right. So here they are before we add our colored dots. So somewhere I can open this. Here we go. What I liked about these were they were variegated, so they go from light to dark. Of course, I pulled one off when I put it in earlier. All right, so again, we get to just kind of have a little bit of fun with where we put our dots and which colors we use. So I'm going to turn this and get a little more putty on there so that I can pick this up, because these guys are very tricky. All right, so one. I think I'm going to use some green ones on here. Oop. Sometimes they come off of the backing, which I don't like. I think I might need to replace my putty here. There we go. Let's see. All right, one more. I really like how the blue and the purple stand out on the cards. So might be a little on the boring side, but all right. So it is 7:42, and I did a lot of housekeeping, calendar updates, etc. at the beginning. So we went over by 12 to 15 minutes, depending on what time I stopped talking. And we have 4 completed cards in about 30 minutes. So I think it's a pretty nice method for getting a lot of cards in at one time and have them be finished, especially because they're not completely identical. They have some of the same elements and of course the same colors, but it's a lot of fun. Oh. These are the difficulties. We call these first world problems when you can't get your embellishments back in the package. Okay, so now I have 8 cards ready to go to good homes. Ta-da! All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning this fabulous technique, and I look forward to sharing another set or two with you next Wednesday. My Wednesday lives are basically to share some really fun items that Stampin' Up! Has. There are so many things, and I can't possibly hold a class for every single stamp set that I am in love with. So that's what my Wednesday night lives are going to help with. So you shouldn't see the same items every week, except maybe adhesives, especially dimensionals, because I'm going to use them every week. But you should see different stamp sets each week. And if there's something that you would like me to research or create from a specific stamp set, just let me know. I promise it'll come up on one of these Wednesday night lives. And that's it. I hope the rest of your week is fabulous. I can't say that a 2-day work week is a bad thing for me. I'm excited. I had a couple of goals that I wanted to accomplish. So a win for me is that my camper quilt top that I started on my birthday a year and a half ago, the top is finished. So my goal is to have it completed, quilted and bound by my birthday this summer. So we shall see. I just have to baste it and quilt it and bind it, right? So that is my goal. It was waylaid by my back and my back surgery. So now I'm ready to get it finished and get it in the camper and enjoy it. So the fabric is just luscious and I can't wait. So that's going to be one of the projects you'll probably see some pictures of. My sewing is usually more of a private thing. Sometimes I will make quilts for others. And other than that, it's definitely a personal venture of mine. And so I share all of my card crafting with you. I will share lots of pictures of my sewing. You just won't find very much of my sewing products for sale, but you can always find my card items for sale. So if you're interested in purchasing, you don't even have to send me a message. You don't have to let me know. You can just go to my shop with me, NicoleMorgan.stampinup.net, and you can order on your own. If you would like some assistance, feel free to call me or send me an email, however you want to do it. I will guide you in some things that are absolutely must-haves or help you make some choices of your own. And that's pretty much it. I hope, again, that you have a fabulous rest of the week, and I'll see you next week.